Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Lots of info today, and a lot of looking forward to tomorrow. Um, I will give me 1 second, and I will um, tell you what I'm kind of planning on doing for this episode. Probably be a little bit short, but I get a little bit long-winded sometimes. Uh, that's not right there. That's in a mirror. Hey, that's because I got my hoodie and my hat on today because I'm a little bit cold. Um, I said in the last couple videos that I'd be creating a new corporation this weekend, and I had a lot of people reply to that, giving interest in doing to that. If you want to check those out, I'll be talking a little bit more about that tonight and really fleshing it out tomorrow. But I've done some philosophizing about that. I asked a lot of people if they had any interest in giving me ideas for names of the corporation. I've gotten some really good feedback on that. Plus, I did some brainstorming myself. Brad replied to a couple emails and messages and stuff like that. Um, so I'll be pointing out some of the names that were brought up, some of the names I came up with, not a whole. And then tomorrow I have to make a decision on the name, and I'm going to create the corporation. I'd like to do that, do the announcement then. Maybe do this in the same video, show how to create, or not show how, I'm going to try to create, I should start saying that more. I'm going to try to create an advertisement for the corporation. Um, as you know, I make these videos and they're not really instructional videos. They're more, hey, watch me screw something up so you don't do it. Um, but I did. Actually, I haven't read these yet. I got so that's what I'm probably going to talk about tonight. One good, well, it's a good thing, but a bad thing, but a good thing. I'm going to have a little bit longer weekend than normal, so I'll be able to focus on making some videos. Um, and playing a little bit more Eve than normal. Normally I have Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays off, but I am taking this following Wednesday off, maybe even a couple more days, because the little princess down here who's chewing on the bone that you can't see, but I'm sure she will join us here at some point during the video because she always does. She is actually getting surgery on Tuesday. She's going to be spayed, if I'm saying that correctly. And so I need to watch after her over the couple days. I'm going to take a couple days off of work. So I may be on a lot more than normal. Because I need to keep an eye on her so she doesn't hurt her stitches and stuff like that. So if you want to wish her luck, Maya's going to have some surgery on Tuesday. But until then, yeah, she's really into that bone. She didn't even perk her head up, look at me when I said her name. Gotta get some coffee. The one major reason that I didn't come to a finalization on the name tonight is I'm just tired. And I don't want to never make a decision when you're tired. Very long week worth of work, even at the very end. And good week. It was a good week, just brain power done. And that's it. I'm going to drink a little coffee. I'm honestly probably going to play this video, go get my skill points for the day, and call it a night and sleep in tomorrow. But before I get done with the video, I'll tell you guys some of the names. So if it gives you guys um, any ideas on more names that you want to send to me, please feel free. So let's see here. Oh, and the other thing too is I've kind of made it a ritual over the last 6 or 7 weeks. Every Saturday night when I get done with my final day of work, I order some Chinese food, and I got two fortunes, which I haven't read yet, just because it was a little dark earlier and I got old eyes. So those will be whenever I announce these names here. So I always like to do this whenever the skins are up or skill points are up. I always like to boot in and see what I get lucky with. So this is my alpha character. And let's see what kind of skin we're going to get from... Come on. Hello. Oh. Oops. I ate too much Chinese. We got to hit claim over here. There we go. Yeah, I am not... Never... Oh, this is nice. A Brutix Warp Convergence skin. Haha! That's a little bit better than normal, isn't it? I think that's one of the better ones. or it's different from the normal ones I get. And at some point, I will be flying a Broodings. Cool, cool, cool. Uh, ooh, and we got one email into me, so maybe that's another person. Now, just a reminder, I will show the Discord channel on the game. I will show our in-game chat, and anybody joining the corporation. Any of the new characters that you're creating to join the corporation with, those characters may be in the videos and any chats there. I will never show somebody's personal email that is sent to me. Um, I will, and I won't show personal messages sent through the Discord channel, but I will show the Discord channel because this is just basically showing people how to do things, so or do them incorrectly, so you can do them the right way yourself. But it looks like I got one email there. I also saw, and I haven't watched it yet, Casparius. I got home, I was eating my Chinese food, I was flipping through my YouTube on my TV while the dog was eating her bone. And Casparius actually did a video. I saw the title. He said he made his alpha character to join the corporation. So we already got one guy who's even making videos on top of this. So awesome. I haven't watched your video yet, Casparius. I'm going to watch that tomorrow morning probably, so I appreciate that. Maybe that's from him. So we'll check it out. Not going to worry about that so much. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do. So, if you saw my picture there, I originally tried to make this character look as close to me as possible, except there are no like full beards in Eve. I don't know why. I want to change the look of him because I'm going to be honest with you. My portrait on there, I'm going to change it briefly. I'm going to spend a whole lot of time. But I gotta be honest with you, his face reminds me of John Travolta in some way. Just the way he's staring right at you. So if it comes up here, so I want to just change the look he is. Now that's not really it, but if you look at his main photo, he's like boom, like right here. So I got to change that here. So we're going to do that real briefly. If you've never seen this before, if you just go into the character customization, I'm just going to change it, make his head move a little bit. And I want to up his eyebrow. I know this has nothing to do with the corporation. I'll get to that real soon, but I need to do this before I forget. You guys can't really tell it because or I don't know if you can or not. There it is. Yeah, see this? This looks way too much like John Travolta right now. See, but then I want that. I want that eyebrow right there. Okay? See, I genetically got this thing from my father. My father very rarely got upset, but whenever he did, his eyebrow went from here. One eyebrow would go from here to here, like right here, and just, and he'd be like, and you're like, oh shit. So I want this fellow to number one be looking, because we're creating a corporation, we're looking to the future, but I want him to have an eyebrow that's like, So we're gonna tell it, Mr. Clarence Pilgrim here. You now, my friend. Let's go into the picture making mode. Oh wait, I think I have to. Can I? Yeah, see, I can do that. See, now he's looking into the future. But I need to move that eyebrow. We need to go back. I need the eyebrow. So I need the. Let's see here. So what happens for me? I think it's. Yeah. So it's this eyebrow here. So it's got to be this eyebrow over here. So it's got to be this one here. I know this is stupid, but I need to do this. Wait. I know there was a way. Hello? Navigation? Is it facial? I know I could make this. Maybe it was on the next page? So I was messing with this the other day. Dang it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Is it this one? Do I do it in here? Because I was... Ah, there it is. Okay. So he's looking up there. There it is. He's got the eyebrow there. And an eyebrow down Ha ha! I am looking at that sun. He's got the rays of sun coming down here, and we're gonna take that picture. Da da da. That is a very da, da, da. Sorry. Yeah, I'm really tired. I get this way when I get tired. You should see me at work. People get really weirded out by me. He's got a little smirk on his face. Okay, that is our new profile pic. I think that's very inspirational when creating a new corporation. Haha. Okay. So that said, um, I also, this is just a really rough draft. For the corporation, I have a couple of names, a couple more that were out there. But I wrote them down briefly last night on a Google Doc. We'll snip that here. Then I had a few other things that I just want to talk about briefly. Let's do a nip. Then we'll copy that. This is nowhere near finished. There we go. Come on. So, these aren't all of the ones that people have sent in to me, but they're just themes. The first one, and actually, remember, if you watched any of the previous couple of videos, the last video I announced that the one prerequisite that I want to have is the last word in it be militia. I think, well, that's not good. Because I think this corporation, since it's going to be all alpha characters to start off with, and the idea is for its main purpose at its implementation is to be a video made corporation that we show people how to do stuff. You have to have one thing that you try to do, and it's going to be all about breaking up gate camps. There's going to do other stuff, but that's going to be the fun part of it. And I wanted militia is the last name in it. And I had a couple people send some messages to me about since one of my character's name is Pilgrim, he brought up the Free Pilgrim Militia. And I'm sorry, I'm not looking at I don't want to pull up the account right now. That was a great idea. I like that, except I don't want to. I'm not a big person of having my name on all sorts of stuff. Like, hey, I'm really cool. I have my name on it. But that's kind of cool. I appreciate that. Another person brought up pipe cleaners, as in clearing out the pipe from getting point A to point B, because people refer to going from point A to B as going through the pipe, and I like that. But he actually said that he looked it up, and pipe cleaners was already taken. But you can always do a different form of that name, like... and the other thing that you can do is when he said that, I was actually cleaning out my garage earlier in the day, and I thought of like Liquid Plumber or the Drano Militia, something to those effects, or something along those lines. So I'm just kind of throwing these out here so that if somebody sends me something over the next day or so, I could go with that. I had originally talked about Ghostbusters, and then being the Gatebusters, that should be Gatebusters or Keymasters, basically open up those gates for people. And then one I thought of on the drive into work yesterday, and I actually messaged back to the guy who sent me the Free Pilgrim, or woman, or whoever, idea was, hold on, I had something else I was thinking of, had nothing to do with Eve, and I was thinking about garage bands. And then something in my head went, wait, garage band militia. Well, that doesn't really go with a whole lot of... And then the phrase garbage band militia. Because my Pilgrim characters have always been about scavenging things. And then using those things to build ships to fly around in. And I was thinking a lot of the fleets that will be flying will probably be like kitchen sink fleets. That's one that it could be. So it could be kitchen sink militia. That would... KSM. So any of these that anybody sees over the next day or so, by tomorrow evening, if you like any of these names, or if you have an idea for your own, please let me know. Any of the ones that are listed here at the top, or kitchen sink militia might be one of them. Let's just check out fortune cookies. I have not read these yet, so if there's anything inspirational off these, so got 2 fortune cookies here. I ate too much for dinner tonight. An old broom knows where the dirt is. An old broom knows where the dirt is. That, I'm not joking. That's what it says. That's my fortune. I got to show you guys this. This is kind of ridiculous. Can I show that here? Is that there? Old broom knows where the dirt is. Maybe I'm too tired to understand this. Swept under the rug militia? Or an old broom. Figure out something there. And then the second one here. A close friend reveals a hidden talent. The hidden talent militia. Or it's going to be militia. Now here's the other part. I could put this up for debate. I can put it up for a vote. One thing as a CEO of a corporation, and this kind of goes into the later parts here that I have for the corporation, because I came up with 3 tenets for the corporation and 3 corporation rules. And then I started making a small little list of future vids that I want to do. I'm going to add on to that. I did this in like 15 minutes last night. So the list is going to grow larger. But one major thing that I have to put in... Hey, there she is. Hey, we'll say hi to Maya. Hi, Maya. Somebody's getting surgery in 2 days. 3 days. That would be you. Can you see? Oh, you're not on the camera. There you are. Hey, hey. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. You're right. The Maya militia. The missing in action militia. MIA militia. The Maya militia. That's fantastic. The missing in action militia. Is it too close to Miami? Ooh, that might be good. The missing in action. Okay, if you like that one, that's another one. There's too many options here. One thing that I have to force myself to do is, and I have a tough time with this sometimes, is I have to choose. I'm going to try to take in as much information at any point in time, but I think a good leader has to take in as much information and then make a decision. It's something that took me a long time as a supervisor, then a manager, and then a trainer of peoples in the corporate world, is to grow up and make decisions, whether they're right or wrong. So a real goal of mine in the real world is to try to hear everybody's options, and this is one of the simplest options, but it's something that will stick for a long time. The Missing in Action Commission. Dudes. Okay. But as a leader, you have to make those decisions. One tough thing for me too, or not tough, one thing for me to recognize for this corporation, and I will have a finalization and a corporation made tomorrow, is that things will change. And I've tried to set up some corp tenets here and some corp rules that will allow for that change to happen, to give people more voice and stuff like that within the corporation. And then also to allow for people to leave and come and go. And if they want to take what they've learned or become like a sister corporation to ours, grow an alliance or grow just a group, like this is going to be a PvP corp. If somebody does this for a little while and says, you know what, I want to be your production corporation, start their own and use one of these names. I want to create this corporation to be kind of a starter corporation for anybody to help people keep going with the game and do their own thing and not feel like they're left alone out there. So, that said, I did come up with 3 tenets that I'm starting with. The corporate tenets. And when I say corporate tenets, I've worked at 2 separate jobs. I think a lot of you might know this or you figured out with some of the t-shirts that I wear. I am a mid-level, low-level trainer for Amazon now, and at warehouses. And I love it. I got out of the corporate world about 5 years ago. Never meant to go back to it, and then I had the opportunity to get into this. Long story short, uh, and I love training people in the real world. Um, but the big thing that Amazon has, which I kind of like, is they have what is called their 14 principles. Um, and if you go through them, some of them um, uh, are indirectly opposing the other principles, and it's meant to be that way. I also worked for an old company about 20 years ago, maybe about 17. I worked there for 6 years, called Mindspring and Earthlink, which was an ISP company, and they had their 10 core principles. And I believe that you have to treat a corporation in Eve as a corporation. And so I've started coming up with a few tenets. Now, will I go to 10 or 12? Probably not. But I think those tenets will allow you to, or principles, allow you to hold yourself accountable to things whenever you're trying to do things. So I've come up with 3 tenets to start off with. The first tenet would be our individual bonds form the corporate bonds. Um, in other words, we're only as strong as each other within the corporation, who is currently in the corporation. That said, um, I don't. I'm not going to have anyone in the corp. I don't want, and I'm going to actively ask for people not to donate to the corporation. Only to individuals within the corporation. The corporation's fine. Um, the whole goal of this is for people to help people and to have a cool time. If you want to help somebody else build another ship, do it. But I've been in groups before and people give stuff to a corporation. I would much rather you help somebody else out in the group. So I would really like to see that done, and we'll talk more about that whenever the corporation gets started and once I make bulletins and stuff like that. So in other words, don't need a lot of people. I would much rather people work on themselves and the corporation grow as a whole for that. The second tenet is we will never measure ourselves to others. We want others to measure themselves to us. This is actually a major thing that I talk about at work for my shift and the people that work for me and with me. Um, if anybody's ever worked at a restaurant in the world or worked at a place that has a night shift and a day shift or a front half of the week and a back half of the week where you're handing off work to each other, there can be some animosity there. And just I worked at you could work as a person at a restaurant. Let's say you're a server at a restaurant, and you clean everything perfectly. When somebody comes in to take over your shift, 9 times out of the 10, they're still going to notice something that's wrong. They're going to be comparing their work to your work, and one thing that I harp on at my current job and my shift that I run is that we don't compare ourselves to others. We only compare ourselves to ourselves, and we focus to try to become better. Now, it's fine if other people want to compare themselves to us. Back when I worked for Earthlink and a long time ago, we had one of the best teams within the company. There were about 40 different teams, and I was one of the best teams for about 2-3 years. And I was a lot younger then. This was a brown beard, not a gray beard. Um, they just get frustrated because we would have people trying to outdo us, and the guys on my team would be like, and guys and gals and people would be like, "Oh, we got to fight," and I never understood until I got older that it didn't really matter, because it's much better for people to compare themselves to you than you to bring yourself down to a level where you're comparing yourself to them. You can learn from other people and their actions, but not compare yourself to that and bring other people down. So that's one thing. We will never measure ourselves to others. We want others to measure themselves to us. and that's cool. I've actually had people learn from me and get jobs over me because of things that I did, and I'm fine with that. Um, the last one here is for me personally, but to let everybody know that's there, is about transparency, honesty, and reality. Um, and I those are three words, and I'll probably expand upon those. But it was a little bit late last night, but I was working on this. I want everybody to know that there's going to be a transparency within the corporation. Everything's going to be out there. Everything will be seen. You're more than welcome to come and go as you please. Um, Honesty, I'm going to be honest. A lot of times at work, when somebody is having complaining about something, and I get a little bit tired of it because it's really an irrational complaint, or it's, you know what, have you ever worked at a job before? Guess what? You're not going to like it all the time. Sometimes I get a little bit tired, and I will say to somebody, do you mind if I comment on what you just said as a human being, not as a current worker at our job? And once they say yes, I go, okay. I'm going to be totally honest here. You suck. No. But I do say, I'm honest. I am blatantly honest about things. So I have a tendency to do that, and I want to be that way. And then I want it to be set in a realistic situation. There's going to be times where people disagree, and there's going to be times that people, are thumbs up on everything. Um, the reality part of it is that as a beginning corporation, I'm going to be setting some rules, and some people are going to like them, some of them aren't. They're not going to be very big rules, as you can tell here, but at times you're going to have to make decisions. You may not like it. You may like it. It is what it is. It's a game. We're going to have fun. Um, that said, I've tried to come up with some ideas for the corporation growing over the months, and maybe even longer than that. You never know. First three rules that I came up with were the first one being one leader per 10 members. Now, as an alpha character, I can only have 10 characters. I'm going to leave it that way. I talked in the last video about some workarounds that you can have more than 10 characters in your corporation as an alpha, but I'm just going to leave it at the 10, including myself. So that one person has say. He's the guy who's putting in the time to get things together. Majority rule. Tie votes go to the most senior leadership. So in other words, let's say this corporation does grow and it becomes a 20, 30, 40 person corporation. I'm going to try to make this really simple. If I go Omega with this character, once he gets to his 5 million ISK, I'll grow the corporate, or I'll expand the corporation. Once the corporation goes over 10 members, we'll have an election. If anybody wants, they can become part of a senior leadership group or a leadership group that will vote on rules. That said, majority rules from that senior leadership. So we'll have a vote for those leaders, and then majority rule will go by those things. Now, numbers-wise, see this little caveat that's in here? One leader per 10 members. So if we have 11 members, then that would be 2 leaders, majority rules. Tie goes the senior person in there. So I'm going to be honest. That means I'm in charge until we get at least 21 people. Because even if somebody else gets elected into that 11th spot, or with 11 people, I still have the senior in the corporation. So once it gets to 21 people, then people can overrule me, that sort of thing, blah, 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 blah. And we'll make rules about the governing body. If the corporation lasts that long, blah. So, I hope that's understandable. It's just future thinking. It won't happen right away. So, that is what it is. The second one, and this might be the weirdest one, and may need to change, be adjusted to. Hold on. But I'm going to set the tax rate at 0 or possibly 0.1% taxes. Why am I doing that? Because I want everybody to keep their own money. Now, how am I going to make ISK for this corporation, if there's a 0 or a 0.1% tax rate, and I'm saying I don't want anybody donating anything to the corporation. The idea being that once every week or once every 2 weeks, we would have a taxation day, or a day or a time period where we get together and everybody does as much bounty hunting as they possibly can. And I set the tax rate to like a 50%. And over the course of, let's say, 8 or 12 hours, people can join up and just go out and try to blow stuff up as much as possible. And then I'll shut it down to 0. So anybody playing whenever they want to can make any or any of their own taxes on their own. I don't know if that's going to work, but I like the idea, and I think I want to do that and try it out. That's one of those, creating the corporation, try it, see how it goes. We may need to adjust it, but I never want to have a high tax rate, because part of the idea of having a corporation is that. There's other ways to make money way down the road. You can have people assign tasks to go do, or that sort of thing, but I'm not going to worry about this. It's going to be a small corporation to start off with. And all of these, that's another thing. All these characters are supposed to be alpha characters that are started after the beginning date that I'm going to announce tomorrow. Well, I announced it the other day. I can't remember the day. I was thinking it was like the 23rd or 20th or whatever it was. These characters should be focused on making themselves ISK. I don't want to take any ISK away from alpha characters that are trying to make their way in the world. Down the road, if as a quorum, as a group, as a leadership group, and we grow to be like 500 characters or 50 characters, then we can come up with something different or change this a little bit, but I'm not going to do anything right now. Membership is accepted by leadership majority vote. Simply put, right now I am the leadership, so I will accept first come, first serve. I've gotten a good number of emails come in. I don't think I'm at 10 people yet, or I haven't gotten, some people said they're interested, but they haven't created their character yet. I will be, once I do the advertisement, I will be sending out some invitations for people who have asked to join. And so, but that right now that's there. After we get past 21 people in the corporation, then it would have to be, if somebody does wish to choose to join the corporation, then the membership would have to be approved by a majority vote of the leading group. That opens up one last thing. This is going to be a small corporation to start off with. Not a whole lot going on for the first 2 or 3 months as far as size, because it's going to be an alpha character. Once you get larger, you have to watch out and have more secure stuff, so that people aren't infiltrating your corporation, that sort of thing. You've got scammers out there and stuff like that. That is something that I want to use for the videos I'm going to make. So as I learn and do things revolving those, like having membership keys and having a private Discord channel, or private things to do for the corporation itself, I want to do videos on those to teach people how to do it, and that's when those things will be created. Right now we have no investment of time or money other than my own, and I'm fine for that. But once people have their own investments into the corporation, we will start locking a few things down to make it more safe for members of the corporation. But right now, we're not going to worry about it. Future videos and revolve around Discord, adverts, and all sorts of other stuff. Like I said, setting up security parameters, setting up scouting missions, setting up events for people to do. One thing I think would be really, really cool, if you've noticed on the main Eve page, currently there was a Plex for Gold that went through, or Plex for Good. That would be pretty awesome if we could do something along those lines, just to give back a little bit to the world. But that's way down the road. We will be an up-and-coming corporation. So those are just my thoughts today. Wow, this went a lot longer. Whoa, geez, that's at 34 minutes. I thought it was going to be a 15-minute long video. Maybe this coffee is stronger than possible. So tomorrow I will have a name of the corporation, um, and missing in action corp. I gotta tell you right now, missing in action militia, or garbage band militia, or free pilgrim militia are kind of sticking in my head. So, but if you guys have any more ideas, I might take even part of an idea, mail them to Clarence Pilgrim, or you can post them on the YouTube channel, or you can go directly into the Discord channel. It's in uh, the description of this video, and I will check all of those midday tomorrow. I'll probably take my dog for a long walk, and I will have a decision tomorrow as the corp name and announce that and let everybody know. So other than that, that's all I got for tonight. Um, Thank you so much for hanging out for so long, and I will talk to you soon. And fly safe, fly dangerously, fly hard like you want, and have a good one. Bye-bye.